last thing I want to mention, I said we would talk about the Falcons. I do want to give them credit where it's due, because if you're a Falcons fan and you say, hey, now the Chiefs did beat you at home, which kind of sucks, but coming this close to beating the Chiefs is automatically like a tick in the right direction to me. And I think Kirk Cousins looked pretty poised throughout the whole game. That opening pass to Drake London was great. And, I think the Chiefs figured it out, and Spags covered Drake London the rest of the game. I know that because I'm also a London fantasy owner.
It was a blown coverage, yeah.
My question to you as a Falcons fan, are you...
As a Falcons fan?
I'm sorry. As a Chiefs fan, looking into the Falcons, like, do you look at the Falcons game tonight and say, hey, like, we didn't win, but man, we came a lot closer than we thought we would? Or are you saying, hey, we should have won that game, there's no excuse for it, like, we need to fix something that's a major problem? Do you think there's a huge problem in Atlanta?
I don't think there's a huge problem, but I would just, if I was the coach, I would be more on that side. Like, we had them, and we let, but at the same time, how many teams that play the Chiefs feel that way? How many times do, like, almost everyone they play, everyone the Chiefs play leaves thinking, man, we had them. But that's the way it goes.
You want to come back to the coin toss?
Exactly. It's like you just let them hang around. I thought Kirk Cousins was really good. I mean, his numbers, 20 for 29, 230. The injury doesn't seem to be lingering. It's typical Kirk Cousins. If he has a clean pocket and he can stand in the pocket on platform and deliver, he's going to, tear you up. But if you can pressure him and hit him and disrupt him and get him off platform, off schedule, he will not tear you up. And that's what the Chiefs were able to do, particularly with their blitzes there at the end. What I think really the Falcons should circle as the biggest problem was they weren't able to run. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, 16 of 31 for Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, 16 carries, 31 yards. Tyler Algier got 32 yards there. I think it was basically those last two drives. He was able to pick up some, but it was non-existent. They weren't able to consistently run the football.
1.9 yards per carry for Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Like, and I'm not even going to say, like, obviously the Chiefs' defense is great. Their rushing defense is great, and Spags calls a great game. He always does. But still, you have Bijan Robinson. You have to figure out a way to utilize him more in these games where it's down to the wire and it's close. Because if the Falcons were up and they couldn't maintain that lead, especially before halftime, they were up, I think, like, what, was it 17-10 or something like that, or 14-10? Or
yeah, I think it was 14.
Something around there. They could have ran the ball more and taken more time off the clock to put the Chiefs in a tougher position.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't seem to get it going. And when you have to rely on Kirk Cousins, who, hey, is a great quarterback, but isn't Patrick Mahomes, you have an issue. You got to fix that running game. You got to get more yards per carry for Bijan, or at least utilize him in the passing game more than you do.
Well, it's similar to the Dallas talk we were talking about. It's like when you're not able to run the football, the defense also gets to play you differently. Because then the Chiefs defense, if I'm the Chiefs defense, if I'm calling plays, I'm not scared of the run. It's like, because you haven't been a threat. So I get to just play coverage and just blitz you and just defend against the pass. So the Falcons need to try to get that corrected. But I will give them a little, even though this happened later in the game, their center went down. That was a big deal. I think they lost another offensive lineman. So they had 2 new linemen in. Obviously, that's going to create some issues running the football. However, they struggled to run it before that. I think overall, though, the Falcons feel like a solid team. Like, taking the Chiefs down to the wire, barely losing, beating the Eagles last year. The biggest thing for me, if I was a Falcons fan, is I feel good about Kirk Cousins. And I feel good about the Falcons have players everywhere. Judon got hurt too. That was kind of a big deal. You lose your best pass rusher. You're really the only pass rusher that can disrupt Mahomes. But they've got players all over the field. And as we said when we talked about the Saints, they can win this division. The Falcons are in competition with the Saints and the Bucs. Bucs are going the wrong way. Even though the Falcons sit at 1-2, I think they feel like they could be competitive with almost anybody they face. They've got the Saints and the Bucs back to back the next 2 weeks. So the NFC South is going to come into focus really, really fast.